The family of Ibrahim Mohammed alias Kaka has appealed to the Chief Imam Sheikh Dr. Usmanu Sharabutu to use his office to intervene in the investigations leading to the death of their son and the arrest of his brother Idi. The family says it is painful enough for the family to accept the death of their son, but it is unfair for the brother to be arrested because he is innocent and could not have killed Kaka. The family made the appeal when they called on the Chief Imam at his residence at Fadama in Accra. My colleague Humu Kalsum Abdullah was at the Chief Imam's home and joins us in the studio. Hello, good afternoon, Humu. Well, we're trying to link up with Humu, who will join us in the studio in a jiffy to tell us more about the meeting between Kaka's family and the Chief Imam. You're still live on GBC News. We'll be back. Well, my colleague Humu is in the studio. Humu, you were at the residence of the Chief Imam, yes, where Kaka's family called on him. Yes. What are they asking for?
What they are asking for is the intervention of the Chief Imam. According to the family, they said since Kaka died, every investigations just kind of died after his brother was arrested. According to the family, the brother couldn't have killed Kaka because on that day, the brother was in the room. He wasn't even at the scene. And don't forget that already 2 suspects were arrested in connection with his death. But according to the family, because of one evidence by one of the neighbors, now the brother is being held.
Yes, I was going to move on to that. That's during the commission of inquiry set up.
Yes. Yes.
To investigate the thing. His name was mentioned. Kaka's brother's name was mentioned.
Yes, Idi Mohammed.
Exactly.
Yes, yes.
So what is the family saying? Because if a neighbor says, and the neighbor gives testimony that she saw Kak Idi at the scene at that time, and is the family disputing that?
What the family is saying is that even if Idi has been arrested, 2 other suspects have also been arrested, plus even the murder weapons. So what the family is looking for is investigations to actually bring justice to Kaka. They do not believe that their son could have killed the brother, because according to them, Idi is the one who is supposed to take care of Kaka's family in his absence. And there is no evidence to prove. The police, according to the family, do not have evidence currently to prove that Idi killed the brother. And even some few days ago, the police are still investigating the issue, and they are even inviting a lot of other residents and other neighbors to listen to their side of the story. So how can they just conclude that Edie killed the brother? And they are also saying that even initially when Edie was arrested, he was just invited to come and give his side of the story. But he's been locked up for more than 2 months. They don't know how investigations are going on. They do not even know if investigations are still ongoing.
So what kind of interventions are they asking the Chief Imam?
They want the Chief Imam to use his good office to intervene in the whole process. What they are saying is that Kaka's death, the brother's arrest, and all the other victims who got injured during the rout, they need justice. In fact, they are calling for justice for the entire community of Edra. They want the Chief Imam and his office to intervene in the investigation and bring justice to where justice is due.
Okay, Homo, thank you very much. And I know you bring us the full version of the story in our subsequent bulletins. My colleague, Homo Kapsum Abdullah, giving us updates on the meeting between the late Kaka's family and the National Chief Imam. The Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources has warned of stiffer punishments for foreigners who sneak into the country to engage in illegal mining activities, popularly referred to as galamsey, with the connivance of some Ghanaians. The ministry stressed that in their own interest, foreigners who are actively engaged in the illegal action contrary to the law should respect the laws of the land, as they will be shown no mercy when they are arrested. The ministry has also warned Ghanaians who have been given the opportunity to mine at the small-scale level not to be lured into working with foreigners, as that is against the law. The warning follows the revelation that the recent invasion of restricted mining areas has a large number of foreigners, Chinese, Ivorians, Togolese, Malians, among others, who are defying the laws of the country to continue the degradation and the pollution of water bodies. The ministry says the current situation had come to its notice and that those found culpable would not just be arrested and deported as foreigners, but would also be made to face the full rigors of the law before deportation. The Deputy Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Mr. George Mreku Duka, said Ghana is a country of laws and those who wish to visit the country must be ready to obey the laws. A major obstacle in the fight against galamsey is a lack of viable options for alternative livelihoods. For most of these galamsey operators, illegal mining fetches more money despite the obvious dangers that government oil palm farming introduced a time ago. Now, government is to introduce another flagship program christened National Alternative Employment and Livelihood Program by the end of 2021, best to suit the miners.
The building was formerly used by the defunct Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining. It will serve as the secretariat of the yet-to-be-introduced National Alternative Employment and Livelihood Program. Barely 3 years ago, when the moratorium on small-scale mining was in force, galamsey operators were offered the option to go into farming. Not many were enthused about this idea. Very few also took up the skills training programs to make them self-reliant. With desperation from being idle, these illegal miners went back into the pit. Since the ban was lifted, it has been a hide-and-seek affair between government and the military on one side against the galamseyers. This new program, the National Alternative Employment and Livelihood Program, will be chaired by the Finance Minister, Mr. Ken Oforiatta, and implemented in 5 mining regions: Ashanti, Eastern, Western, North and Central regions.
Practically, we also looking at skill training where the youth will be supported. We also looking at people that could be empowered with some soft loans to also start some business. We also deepening the local content aspect of mining by empowering people to supply to the mining companies largely, and also to create that enabling environment where people will go into agro business.
The Secretariat is under the supervision of the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources.
And we have the Deputy Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Mr. George Mrekuduka, to give us more updates on the Galamsey menace. Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Absolutely, thank you, sir.
Sir, can you tell us how bad is the Galamsey situation as far as foreigners' involvements are concerned?
Let me say it's absolutely challenge listening. And maybe if the line goes on, we came to our pocket just to have first or the big side like me and on our way from the line is up, but
Oh, so we seem to have some challenges with the Deputy Minister's phone line. He says he's on his way from Awas, so I think there is a bit of technical challenge. We'll try to get him so that he speaks to the issue. You're live on GBC News and GTV, and you're watching News Hour. To the Deputy Minister. Let's do another story from the Volta region. And large-scale illegal sand winning and export is going on at Amichikope, a village along the Denodoje Road in the Ketu South district of the Volta region. Amichikope is not far from the Kpogulu customs barrier. The illegal activity is reported to have been going on for years. According to some citizens of the area, the sand is extracted and exported to Togo through the Segbe border, one of the entry points along the Ghana-Togo boundary. Over the years, the community members have looked on, not knowing who to report to, because they wonder how the tipper trucks cross to neighboring Togo in the full glare of officials guarding the route. The first typhoid vaccine trial in Ghana among children between 9 and 15 years has begun at Agogo in the Asante-Achim North District of Ashanti. In all, 23,000 children have been targeted to go through the trial for 3 years before it will be rolled out after approval by the Ghana Health Service and the Food and Drugs Authority. The trial is a collaborative project between the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology and the International Vaccine Institute of South Korea.
Other countries, Madagascar, Democratic Republic of Congo, and Burkina Faso are among countries selected to undertake the trial in Africa, which has been approved by the World Health Organization, WHO. More than €3 million has been invested in the project, Asante Achim district was selected for the trial because the area has been identified as very endemic with the typhoid disease in the country. According to researchers, the safety of the vaccine is guaranteed. The principal investigator of the project, Professor Yao Edusa Kodie, said the vaccination is free and effective and therefore urged parents who are yet to enroll to take advantage and vaccinate their children against typhoid, describing it as very deadly.
We are all aware of the difficulties we have as a country in dealing with typhoid fever. And the result of this trial gives promises of what as a country we can put in place so that we can bring down the difficulties the health service has for all our participants, all our patients who visit us with typhoid fever.
A clinical pharmacologist and head of pharmacy practice at the KNUST, Professor Kwame Ohimbuabing, said children who come for the trial shall be closely monitored to ensure the immediate response to any unfavorable reaction. He added that they will be well managed by professionals after being taken through all the vital processes, including COVID-19 tests.
There is no question about the safety, of the product. The product is quite safe, and I'm very excited, that we are doing this trial here. Typhoid fever is a life-threatening, infection. It's a life-threatening infection, and particularly in this age of drug resistance. So if we have a vaccine that is effective, able to protect the most vulnerable population, from getting sick, I think that we are doing a lot of good, to the country. And I'm very excited to be part of the project.
Two beneficiary parents, Mercy Amoako and Elizabeth Nyako, expressed their gratitude to the KNUST for the free vaccination and appealed to their colleagues to avail themselves to help fight typhoid disease in the area.
From the National Road Safety Authority indicates that more than 1,000 people in the country have been killed through road crashes from January to April 2021. Over the weekend, 21 people died and several others severely injured in 3 separate gory accidents in the central and eastern regions. This development is worrying, and a number of Ghanaians are calling on the government to put in place the needed interventions to curb the situation. Joining us on the phone to speak to the issue is the Public Relations Officer of the National Road Safety Authority, Madam Pearl Adesujesi. Hello, good afternoon, Madam.
Good afternoon.
Madam, are motorists, commuters, passengers and riders safe on our roads?
Once again, please, I'm happy you've welcomed me to your station. Greetings to your cherished viewers and listeners. But could you repeat your question again for me?
I was asking whether motorists, riders, commuters, drivers, whether they are safe on our roads?
Yes, of course. They are safe if they adhere to the road safety rules and regulations. But when you don't adhere to it and you become indisciplined on the road, then that is where you are not safe on the road. But at any time, if you adhere to the rules and regulations, you are very safe, because a lot of people have been plying the road and they've not been crashing. But the moment you become indisciplined, you do what the regulation doesn't say you should do, that is where you expose yourself to risk on the road.
Okay, so the third quarter hasn't ended yet, but can you give us the available statistics on road crashes in Ghana?
Thank you very much. The third quarter haven't ended yet, but meanwhile, the statistics that we have on our table now is from January to June 2021. And from January to June, the reported cases of road crashes are 8,188. Vehicles involved are 13,973. Persons killed, 1,452. Persons injured, 8,1 and then pedestrian knockdown is 1,470. That's what we have on our table now.
So isn't this quite alarming if you compare this to that of last year around the same time? What do you make of it?
Yeah, it is alarming. The statistics have increased to astronomical heights, which is unacceptable. Compared to last year, every in every part of the reported cases has increased. All indicators have increased, from all cases reported to vehicles, persons involved, has increased tremendously, which is unacceptable. And this has called for the vice president and the president setting up an interministerial committee to see to it that resources are made available anywhere, anyhow, so that road safety management in the country can be looked at very well. This is what we are doing now, because we just don't understand the time that we have become an authority, increased awareness through campaigns and putting up interventions, giving directives for high occupancy buses to adhere to. Rather, the numbers are soaring high, and we can't take that. So immediately, through the vice president, the presidency has set up an interministerial committee to look at this and do something about it.
All right, madam, thank you very much. We're just running out of time, but we'll get back to you later to talk more on this issue, as it is quite disturbing. On GBC News, we're trying to go back to the Deputy Minister of Lands and Natural Resources to talk about the Galamsey menace in Ghana. Hello, good afternoon, Mr. Duka.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Mr. Duka, it's quite better now.
Yes. Is the reception better?
Yes, please. Sir, can you tell us how bad this Galamsey menace is as far as foreigners' involvements are concerned?
Hello?
Yeah, Mr. Duke, I can hear you. Can you please go on?
It's giving me a feedback. Hello?
Yes, I can't hear you perfectly well here in the studio. And I was asking you to tell us how far this Galamsey menace has gone as far as foreigners' involvements are concerned. Well, I'm afraid we're still having a little bit of challenge with Mr. Duke's reception. So we'll be moving on to Achim Asabidie, and the people of Achim Asabidie in the eastern region are in dire need of a health center. They say the only CHIPS compound in the area is in a poor state, and the people have to seek medical attention in adjoining Cape Towns, which is miles away. The chief of Achim Asabidie, Nana Kwesi Baji, told GBC News that the community has mobilized its own resources to put up a health center, but needs the support of the government and corporate bodies to complete the project and make it operational.
The Achims are Akans. The term Achim describes a group of 4 states: Asante Achim, Achim Ebuakwa, Achim Kotoku, and Achim Bosome. They are located primarily in the eastern region of Ghana. The term is also used to describe the general area where the Achim ethnic group clusters and speak the Akan language. In any part of the Achim area, one expects to hear the people speak their Akan language, but it is different at Achim Asabidie. Achim Asabidie is an Ewe-dominated community. The people of Achim Asabidie speak Ewe and are from Jogweve Avekofe in the Volta region. According to oral history, the Asabidie land belonged to the people of Chereso, but was discovered by Togbe Kede Baji I many years ago. Many more descendants of Togbe Baji moved to Asabidie to work, and today the community is an Ewe community. The current population of the people of Asabidie is over 3,000. The people farm cocoa and other crops. Roads to the community are in a deplorable state because heavy trucks carrying timber logs from the area are regular on this stretch. The only bridge that links the community to other areas is also not in good shape, and drivers use it with utmost care. The only health center in the area is the Asabidie Community Health Post, serving the entire community. But presently, the health post is not in use because of its poor state. According to the chief of Achim Asabidie, Nanakwesi Baji, the community has mobilized its own resources to make the health post operational, but help is needed to complete the project. The telecommunication network in the area is also poor, making it difficult for residents to make and receive phone calls. As a result, most teachers and nurses refuse posting to this area, saying they are unable to connect to the online classes which they are still pursuing. Nanakwesi Baji appealed to the government and other corporate organizations for assistance. With the high rate of unemployment in the area, most of the youth are relocating to the Greater Accra region in search of jobs. And this, the chiefs and people say, is of concern.
The UNCOM building, which was raised by fire more than a month ago at Makola, has been completely pulled down for the construction of a new one. Our reporter, Gifty Owusu, visited the site and joins us in the studio. Good afternoon, Gifty.
Good afternoon.
Gifty, you were there in the morning.
Yes.
Tell us, what did you see?
Okay, so when I and the team got there, personnel from the military were on site raising down the building. Actually, they started the demolition on the 22nd August, which was a Sunday, and they are still now collecting the debris away from the site. Also, one lane of the street was closed, okay, to pave way for the demolition exercise. And some traders have complained about poor patronage of products during this period.
So I said that it's been completely pulled down. Is that the situation?
Yes.
They're still working. They are now collecting the debris.
The debris, yes.
Okay. So you spoke to the marketmen.
Yes,
they've been complaining. Initially, I think both lanes
were closed. Yes.
But today when you went,
one lane was opened, and the market is actually working. Business is going on, but there's been low patronage since they are directing people from the other side of the road. So it has become a one lane. Just cars are moving towards the Hong Kong market, not inside the Hong Kong market, which has affected some sales. Actually, the women were happy about them pulling down because they felt it was a threat to them. The building was a threat, but it's actually affecting their sales. And so they pray that they finish the exercise as soon as possible so that business can be booming.
Okay, let's go back to the event and the building that has been, completely razed down. Do you have a idea when the new one will be constructed? Have you been told anything of that sort?
Well, no, not yet. We do not know when the new building will start. But for now, we are just trying to level down and clear the site so that the AMA will come to us and tell us what's next.
That shop belonged to some owners. I understand it wasn't only for one person. So did you get in touch with them?
Honestly, they were not there. Okay. The owners were not there. Those who were affected by the fire, those whose shops were burnt were also not there. Only the military. I saw military and then some policemen directing people off the street.
They didn't speak to you? No. Okay. All right. My colleague, Gifty Owusu from Makola, and she brought us an update on what is happening with that Hong Kong building, which was razed by fire a couple of months ago. You're still watching News live on GBC News. We're taking a short break. We'll be back with the business segment. Please don't go away.
Environment, but each of them bent on strategizing a future business boom after COVID. The ministry in charge of tourism, Ghana Tourism Federation, the private sector, they have another thing on their minds: beach